Fans, this is Comicfan with another humble haul. I'm going to start off real quick with a couple of books that were given me through my buddy over at Rocky Comics. Basically, most of this shows up with, most of it has to do with a $40 haul, just like I titled it. But I made a couple stops along the way before I did my $40 haul. So we'll go ahead and get this going. Like I said, couple of books given to me from Rocket Comics. They're just some reprints, but I find them extremely useful. We're going to start off with Walt Kelly's Christmas Classics. I'm kind of a nut with Walt Kelly. I really appreciate his stuff, the stuff he did with Pogo and stuff like this, but I don't usually see anything else done by him, so I'm always appreciative when I get something such as this. So there's that. Another reprint, Alfred Harvey's Black Cat, The Origins. That's really cool. Hildebrand artwork on the cover. The insides do not match up to what's inside. It's basically a lot of Golden Age reprints of Black Cat. And then another thing that I found really great and extremely useful, a Wallace Wood checklist. Basically compiles his whole entire work, and in not chronological order. That would have been something really great. It's all in alphabetical order according to title of the books he worked on. Not anything exciting, but hey, I'll show you a couple of things if I can find them real quick. Like this, I'm a big fan of Patsy Walker, the cat. This was a preliminary drawing for the cover, which was really cool. Yeah, in the chat, we've got 4A flashers. Yes, it is the complete Wally Wood checklist. I don't know if it's complete. I've never checked it myself, but it seems to be complete enough to where I could seek out some other stuff I didn't know about for sure. So there's that. Now on to my second stop. I hit up a flea market, came out with one book, which I kind of regret. $1 book, although the bag had $1 on it, but it was covering up a couple other prices. I'm assuming this went down in price. Because by the time I peeled back the stickers, it revealed $10. Maybe worthy of $10, not in this condition. I overlooked this, this what do you call it? Rip? Is that what they're calling it these days? The kids are calling them rips? We'll call it a rip. It's basically Marvel Team Up number 65, the first American appearance of Captain Britain. At the time, it seemed like a great pickup for $1. Probably still is, but I've got one in a little bit better condition, one without a rip. So, buyer's remorse? Not necessarily, but I kind of wish it didn't have the rip. Excuse me. Went on to another place that was having a sale, picked up a couple books there. We'll start off with A Man Called Nova, number 12. Really good stuff. Exceptional condition. Thinking it was just $1. Came out to be a really nice book for $1. Hardly ever see them in really great condition. But this one was a great steal, especially when I brought it up to the counter. The guy takes a look at it, and of course I get the normal spiel. Says, yeah, this book was supposed to go for a lot more. I saw how much it's selling for, but we just can't seem to move it. And I told him flat out, and you won't, sir. You will not move this book unless there's a movie. Said, yeah, that's going to sit in your bin for a while. Sorry, buddy. Another $1 fine at that place that was having a sale. X-Men 205. First appearance of Hope Summers. And an outstanding cover. Really great stuff for $1. Not really sure to unload this now since the movie's already gone, or if this has potential. A little hard to tell. If I'm going to dump it, I might as well dump it now. But this character has some room to grow, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm a little on the fence on that. That is right. I cannot beat it for a buck. That is correct, sir. The last book I picked up from this place for the sale, A Chilling Adventures of Sabrina #1. Really great stuff. Well, thank you for that commentary, Four-Way Flashers. I think I will keep it. This is great. Not only is it a new, or at the time it was a new series, but a little great thing about this book, it reprints the first appearance of Sabrina in the back. I thought it was great. Now, I did happen to find a first appearance of Sabrina a while back. Let's see if I can find it. Jeez. For those of you who have not seen the first appearance of Sabrina, she looked like that at the time that they printed the original Archie. Great stuff. Going through the rest of this book, and I'll just flip through it real quick. It's a little bit, it's not so cute as the original Sabrina. Turns out to be, it gets pretty horrific. So, you know, keep it away from the kids. And that was $5. And this one also has another sticker behind it. It was originally priced at $5. Yeah, you know what? Four-Way, I don't know if from what I heard, she's getting her own spin-off series. I don't know if she's going to show up on Riverdale. It would be nice for her to show up on Riverdale first and then have her spin-off. It kind of makes sense. But then at the same time, I don't know if Sabrina ever really interacted with the rest of the Archie gang. I don't know, you tell me. Now, on to our $40 haul. Yeah, it would be cool if she looked like a goth chick. I'm into that kind of stuff. My $40 haul. I went to a small show nearby, picked up some books, obviously. Pretty good stack full for $40. Not too shabby. So let's see what we got, huh? I went to, first of all, the first booth I went to had some dollar books. I got enough to where it came to a reasonable price. He threw a couple in there for me. First one was a really nice read, Shaolin Cowboy #1. Not a whole lot of dialogue in this. It's actually a little funny, but it's basically your typical, as far as I can tell, your zombie apocalypse kind of thing with, I guess this guy is killing a bunch of them, but there must be some story behind it, because it gives a very lengthy thing to keep you up to speed, and it's about a page and a half long. Before you actually read the comic book, you're supposed to read this. I did not. I guess I should have to fill in the people that I'm showing the book to, right? But that seemed like a lot of reading, and I didn't have a lot of time. Sorry. Anyway, moving on. Another dollar book. Marvel Age #1. It's one I had at the time when it first came out. I picked one up for a quarter. It's just basically, as far as I know, it was Marvel's first little newsletter, kind of a previews magazine. And I don't know why, out of everything they had that month to feature, they featured Chris Starr. I was expecting more from Marvel, but I guess they really had to back up this character. I can't speak for them. Next up, a nice little What If book. What if Spider-Man had never become a crime fighter? It's What If #19. Huey's Comics! Hey! I'm sorry I wasted all my excitement on you and none of it on Four-Way. I'm sorry. I was excited to see another person. I'm sorry, Four-Way. Huey's Comics is in my chat. I'm sorry. I'm going to focus most of my excitement on the books, okay? Another one we got here. Nightcrawler. Very nice condition of Nightcrawler #1. Now I'm going to tell you, for the rest of these books, most of these dollar books, they are not keys. They are not huge. They are the kind of books that if you find them in the dollar bin, you really feel torn whether or not you should leave them in there or take them out. You know, so yes, Huey, show Four-Way some love, huh? Somebody's got to be excited that he's in this chat. Aside from me, I'm always excited. So be forewarned that the rest of these books are just books. And I'd love to see whether or not they should stay or they should go, okay? Let's play a little game here. First one, well, actually, we'll continue with the dollar books. Don't laugh. Don't judge me. Judge it yourself. Kid and Play number 1. Should it stay or should it go? I love this book. I think it's great that this was just so cheesy back in the day, and it's just double the cheese now. It's cheese upon cheese. But are you going to leave this in the box for $1, or are you going to take it home with you? Another fine person in the chat. We've got Iconic Point in the chat. How are you doing? Okay, along with that, I also found a Marvel Action Universe. No, it's a one-shot, so obviously it is number 1. Keep the Kid in Play. All right, I like it. I like it. I got to show you the first page. I'm sorry. I'm just going to delay this really quick, okay? The first page that had me busting up. Hilarious, hilarious, hilarious. You flip it open, and the first thing you see is obviously Kid and Play, but I was not expecting that. That's hilarious. Now, hey, check this out. Check this out. Take a look at the roster of the people, of the talent that is on this book. Let's see. Now, the Chuck Fraser as the penciler, nothing great. Not so bad. But we have Fabian Nicieza as the editor. Fabian Nicieza being the writer for Deadpool or New Mutants 98. Interesting. Very interesting. Anyway, moving on. Like I said, Marvel Action Universe one-shot. All this is, and I thought this was going to be a little different, turns out to be a reprint of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. That's all it is. I thought it was something different, but anything to do with my Saturday morning cartoons growing up is somewhat of a keeper. Okay, something a little bit more interesting for $1. Invincible number 44. First appearance of Anissa. Now, Anissa, in case you guys don't know, Anissa was responsible for a little raping of the hero in Invincible. Yeah, Iconic Point, I agree. I think I'm going to let that go to get the original. However, I do have the original Spider-Man and Amazing Friends, so I might be keeping it. I don't think I could sell that, to tell you the truth. But Invincible number 44 for $1. Not too bad. Another $1 fine. And a fine nod to our people up in Canada. Spider Comics 7. Actually, this is not Spider Comics 7. Spider Comics 7 is in the chat. But a Captain Canuck number 1 for $1. Another thing that excites me about this is the fact that I found a Canadian comic in America. I love it. Now, that's where the love stops. Because you find Canadians, at the time, this really tears me up. Well, four-way for $1, I couldn't let it go. But once I started opening it up, I gotta tell you, Richard Comley might need to get a second job, okay? Because a lot of fine Americans aren't able to see fine work such as this. Oh, that's bad. That is so... Ooh. One more page. Oh, wait a minute. What is Captain Canuck doing with one hand here and one hand there? Amazing. That is nasty. Nasty Captain Canuck. I hope your Canadians are proud of this. Once again, for $1. That's what I'm willing to do for $1. That's bad. Okay, got a few more dollar books here. This was awesome. Oh, yeah. People read the chat. That's hilarious. Marvel Team Up Annual #1. A very overlooked book, in my opinion. Now, most people just see the cover and say, oh, it's a Spider-Man crossover with X-Men. That's where, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying there's more to this book. Huey Comics is closing in on finishing the virus set. Very nice, very nice. 3 more books to go. Well worth the hunt. But I'll tell you a little bit more about this book. Now, for people that are on a budget and want an early appearance of these fine fellows of the X-Men, this is the book to get. It's fairly cheap. It's what I consider the 3rd appearance of the new team, that being these characters here. I think it's a great book for the money. If you want an early appearance of these characters, buy this book. I think it's great. For $1. One more dollar find here. Actually, I got quite a few more dollar finds. A Creatures on the Loose #10. First appearance of King Cole. What a book for $1. This is great. Don't mind the price here. I'm just reusing some bags. But yeah, it's a little dirt here. It's something that can be cleaned up. But for $1, I don't think I'm going to leave that in the box. Moving on. Machine Man #19. First appearance of Jack-o'-lantern. And the last book of this series. Kind of funny, they already knew the fate of this book. Completely your collection special, or guess what book is not going to have a 20th issue. That's kind of cruel. But oh well, it's not my Marvel, it's theirs. This was a great find for $1. Masters of the Universe #13. Also the last issue of the series. Oh, okay, that was that's cool. Four-Way says it's an early work of Bernie Wrightson's. On Creatures on the Loose. All right, very nice. But this is the last issue of He-Man, Masters of the Universe. Very well sought after book for those who are trying to complete the run. I had only wished that there was more of these in there. For $1. Another $1. I got Invincible Iron Man #10, variant edition. I don't know what the ratio is on that, but if anybody knows, let me know in the comments, chat, whatever. It's a book that I have already in the regular cover. I did not have it in the variant. I'm very happy to have that to complete those. 2 more dollar books. A Fantasy Masterpieces #4. Don't pay attention to that. That's on the bag. But a reprint of Silver Surfer #4 for $1? This is certainly something I would not leave in the box. Reprint or not, the original is hard enough to get with its own kind of sticker price on it. This is fairly affordable for $1. I've never actually seen one in the box, and I'm very happy to bring that home. In the last dollar book we have, it's just something that struck me. It was just got my attention because I love Spider-Ham. It's something I grew up as a kid. This is What The #3. Not exactly sure what this book is, to tell you the truth. I should have known. I grew up with this stuff, but I never picked up the What The series. Let's take a small peek, shall we? Because we're kind of running along on time. Excuse me. Yeah, so it's basically not necessarily spoofs on books, although I found something very interesting in this book. It is a spoof on DC in this, and they sign it, forget it guys, no way, this sees print, signed it. The Fox and the Crow. Obviously that was a DC, 2 of DC characters back in the time. But it resembles an awful lot like McFarlane work. No, I can't verify that this was McFarlane that did it, but it is shockingly resembles his artwork, except for Robin there. That looks a little different. Wouldn't you agree? I would have to say that this, I don't know. I can't say that it's McFarlane's artwork. I just think it resembles it. Okay, now those are done. That's all done with the dollar books. I picked up 2 more books from another vendor there. Very happy to have another issue of Transformers #1 for $10. I think it's exceptional shape, very nice. Maybe one small, minuscule spine tick, but overall, very happy with picking this up for $10. In the last of my books, for $25, and this, like I said, this all completes that one little show with a $40 haul. Very nice. So we've got Tales of Suspense number 59. This book is a little misleading, basically because everybody thinks it's the first appearance of Jarvis. Yes and no. It's the first appearance of Edwin Jarvis, who is basically the Tony Stark's butler, not the little computer voice you hear in all the movies. It's a little misleading, like I said. Going back just a little bit, Four-Way says that is a Mike Zeck cover. Very nice, man. Man, you are on it today. Am I happy you're my little moderator or what? I don't see the credits, unfortunately. So they don't show that right away. Very interesting. So, like I was saying, this was a book that's a little misleading. Like I said, it's first appearance of Edwin Jarvis and not Jarvis the little computer thing. Aside from that, this is a first solo story, solo story for Captain America, which I thought was a pretty nice thing. It's the first double feature of them sharing it in this title, that being Captain America and Iron Man. Aside from that, it's just a book I've always wanted. It's cool stuff. So with that being said, that is my haul, and I suppose I've got a couple more things in the pipeline. I might go to San Diego Comic-Con. Not really sure yet. I guess that will unfold as the weeks come along. But aside from that, I'm enjoying just having another haul to share with you, and that is about it. So, with that said, as always, this is Comicfan. And also, as always, happy hunting. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.